I think curating an artist like Bill Greenhalgh is an incredibly interesting thing to do, and it presents all kinds of fascinating issues as to how exactly you would present an artist who had deliberately not shown in a gallery for a long time and who had an enormous body of work that went back to 1970, but an especially intensively productive period over the last 4 or 5 years. And so it seemed to me that we had to reflect a little bit of the artist's journey, of his history, but really what we needed to do was to have a spectacular manifestation of what he's been doing over the last 5 years, so you could get a powerful sense of what he does. He broke out of the rectangle or the square with his imagery some decades ago and has since then developed all kinds of flat but complex asymmetric forms, creatures that crawl all over the wall, landscapes that are not logical. It's really a branch of European surrealism, still alive and well, I would say. What we determined to do was to select a body of monumental works that were still largely rectangular and hang those on one side, and then have an explosion of the informal, completely asymmetric works crawling up the other wall. And then we separated one part of the gallery and painted it a different colour to give a selection of the work from 1970 onwards, to show something of the journey the artist had been on, from being influenced by the Cornwall abstract painters through surrealism, and then on to his own peculiar language, which is really to do with these small pictograms of creatures, places and people that fill up the surfaces. And then from there he moved into this latest monumental phase of large coloured works still inhabited by these complicated, beautiful creatures. Seems to me that it's an incredibly impressive display of an artistic production that has never really slowed through decades. It feels hugely European. One thinks of Dubuffet, Miro, Tapier's. Picasso is always there somewhere, but moving powerfully on. The skill of the compositional balance and the development of surfaces, it's moved into Bill Greenhalgh's own universe and his own language, and there is nobody else making work like this. He's always been himself. He's always developed his own idea of what the world's about, and his work powerfully reflects that. And I think it's probably one of the most interesting displays of painting in London over the last 2 or 3 years. And it will be interesting to see, as it gets into the bloodstream of the London art scene, how people respond to this complex, exuberant body of work.